Hey, this is Bill here in Palm Harbor, and it is January 2nd, so Happy New Year, and we are in the middle of another harsh Florida winter, and despite the fact that it's kind of a nippy 55 degrees out there, that's actually not the worst part of the Florida winter. The worst part of winter in Florida is it gets dark so darned early. And tonight I have a project for the kayak that helps deal with the fact that we don't want to lose out on any fun just because it gets dark. When I bought a kayak recently, I ended up with a follow-on coupon and for a subsequent purchase and nice discount. So for my kayak, I bought the Kayak Navigation Light, which is an excellent thing for when you're going to be out late at night. It gets dark around 4:30, 5 o'clock now, so it's not uncommon for an everyday kayak trip to turn into a nighttime kayak trip. The Kayak is actually quite nice. It's a telescoping unit on basically like a tent pole, and mounts into the rail system of your kayak or a mighty mount. Has a basic nav light. All you're required is a 360-degree light. Also has reflective or lenticular tape, so that if anybody isn't sure what's out there and they shine a light on you, it's going to reflect back very brightly. Also, the pack snips on and becomes a flag if you're in daytime weather but want to be seen as well. What we're going to do tonight is make one reasonable facsimile of this. I have a second kayak. I want to get it, have had it on the water, but I want to have it safe and legal for kayaking at night. And so we're going to work on a quick project tonight to do a DIY nav light. This is a very nice unit. It's about $70 some odd, and don't want to spend that money for another one because it's actually quite not necessary to go that route. What's next is we're going to start on a DIY project to build a nav light for your kayak for nighttime kayaking, or to keep on the kayak in this case in case you get caught out at night for whatever reason. So without further ado, we'll get started right away. All right, let's get started. So we can tell from what we've seen, we're going to need a pole, a base, a light source, and a diffuser. So we'll get started on that. For the pole, we're going to use the ubiquitous PVC. DIY Charter Member Hall of Fame is PVC. Okay, so I went with 3/4 inch Schedule 40 PVC. A little bit nice and rigid. This is 40 inches in length. The reason for that length is while I'm sitting, this is in the rail. I want it higher than my head or a hat. I am 6'6", so it's probably going to be tall enough for anybody else who would be on this kayak. This is kind of built for my height. Again, I have the Kayak on my Wilderness Systems. My buddy kayak is a Vibe Sea Ghost. The Sea Ghost, this will go has a gear track on the side as well as rear fishing rod holders, and I also have rod holders that are upright in the crate. This is going to go on that kayak, so 40 inches is perfectly fine for that. All right, so then we need the base. The next thing for the base, and I'm going to lay out all we need here for this, is we need our PVC out 3/4 inch. I went with 3/4 inch for the inner diameter to match the light source. So I got 3/4 inch slip coupling. I got another 3/4 inch slip coupling for the top. But focusing on the base, we're going to glue this into place, and then to the bottom of that, we're going to put this 3/4 inch PVC plug. Now, here's a project that I had done a year or so ago. This is a GoPro tray for snorkeling underwater, so your GoPro stays nice and level when you're swimming, and you can hold on to it as opposed to the camera. And I just real quickly did end caps on this. And the end caps, you'll notice, is rounded. This is not that big of a deal. Inside of this, I've got the screw locked down with lock washers and epoxied into place and all that kind of such. But you'll notice it's not a nice even fit to a perpendicular flat surface. Not that big of a deal here. It's got a good grip and it's fine. But for the kayak, this is going to go into a gear track more than likely in the end. And so I want a flat surface. So when this goes onto the gear track, on either side of the gear track, I'm butting up against a flat surface. So I took the additional step here of selecting the plug as opposed to a round end cap. This will eventually glue into here. Inside of here, I'm going to drill a 1/4 inch hole and mount a 1/4 20 stainless steel T-nut that will embed into that and then be epoxied in place. So I've got a fitting in there. That then mates with a standard track mount, or in my case, the Vibe kayak in the back, the tank well bungees, is held in by a plastic wing nut, which when taken off exposes a coarse thread 1/4 20 bolt stainless that this will screw right down onto. But you can also easily screw onto here, drop that into your kayak gear track. Actually, for the most part, since this is not going to be permanently used, this is going to be temporarily used, this is going to actually sit upright in the rod holder of my upright rod holder in the rod crate, or the kayak crate in the tank well. So it's going to sit right up there in the back. So not a lot into this. What you do for your end cap and how you mount it into your kayak will match what you need for your particular kayak. Like this is my GoPro mount, so I've got a knuckle here with all ram balls, and this ram ball system screws into the base, and a ram ball on the other end which screws in. A little bit more of a need for that. That need is not here, so you don't need to be as elaborate. The more you take out, the less it's going to cost you. So simple base, that's all you need. But it's going to suit whatever you want to do to mount it. If you're going to go to a Mighty Mount or something like that. All right, so moving to the top, we need our diffuser bulb. So for that, we go to the Walmart, we go to the health and beauty aisle, we go to the TSA section where you buy all the miniature soaps and deodorants for air travel. And this is a spray bottle. It is frosted white clear. So this is something that they have in a number of colors there: green, blue, pink, and white. The white was what we want. What's nice about this is it's got a very nice rigid screw area on the end. This is nice thick plastic, very good. So this is another 3/4 inch slip coupling like on the other end, aligns with the pipe. And then this, I'm not using, you might ask, I'm not using threaded. Threaded here is male pipe thread, if you could get it at Home Depot or Lowe's, but it doesn't actually line up with the threads, so it's not going to fit in there. This is a much, much coarser thread. This actually fits in here rather snugly, and you pop it in. This end will glue in using the standard PVC glue, leaving me with a pop-in, pop-out plug. This could be glued in, but in reality, this is very thin. This is the first thing that's going to go on this. So your first thing you're probably going to have to replace, hopefully no more than once a year. So I want to be able to remove this. So this gets glued into place. This gets pushed, press fit, friction fit into place. Okay, so that's your top, your base, and lastly, your light source. Now before the light source, what I've got here, and I've got an example, is I've taken some pool noodle and I've cut it down to be a little bit bigger than 3/4 inch. I've already glued one end of this and put it down inside of here using the flashlight or some other ramrod to push that down and allow that glue to set. Okay, I've already done that. That's down inside of here. So your light will now fit into here, dropping down and sitting flush with the top of this. Okay, so your light doesn't fall all the way down to the bottom of the pole. The last thing I did here was I put a small bit of rubber band around here. This can be easily replaced as needed, but the rubber band just acts like a bushing so you don't have some kind of plastic on plastic or metal on plastic clanking sound. Now, quick note on the light source. I use the term mag light kind of universally because it's a small pen light, but I'm using the Coast light. This is a G20 available at Home Depot. I think it's like $8 for this light.
You could use the mag light or the mini mag light. The nice thing about this is LED. We do not need to throw light a great distance. Mag lights are known for that. They use a bulb that xenon or whatever it is, the bulb. We do not need to throw light a great distance. What this is on 2 AAA batteries. It's 10 hours of runtime. So this is what we want to focus on, is something with a good long runtime. Nothing beats an LED to do that. If you do have a dim light, you can very easily, I have a box on my kayak that's got my VHF and my GPS and a number of spare batteries to run them. I always keep AAAs on there for my headlamp. So I got plenty of AAA batteries, easy to swap this out, easy to put it back in, long runtime. We don't need to throw light a great distance. That's what we would use our headlamp for if we're working on something. So this drops in, meets with the plastic, rests flush with the top. This would already be glued on place. This friction fits in there, and we have our light. So it's fairly easy to take it out, service it. I keep the light inside of my safety gear box, sealed box. This pops in, and we have our light. So we built something that's fairly reasonable facsimile to the commercial item. Last step is in Home Depot or Walmart in the camping and trailering aisle, or in Harbor Freight. They sell this reflective tape. This is for putting onto a side of some utility trailer or boat trailer. So if you're passing along perpendicular to a vehicle and you don't have lights on the side at night, their headlights will reflect off of this. So this very simple sticker, you put this on here in various fashions. They got a red, silver, red. You can do that very easily here. Put a loop of red, a loop of silver, a loop of red. That way, if someone thinks they see something out there and they shine a Q-beam or some other spotlight on you, it's going to bounce back very brightly, and they're going to recognize that you're out there. So that's very important for you. And the last thing I have here for this is, before I glue all this together, I have these 2 that are going to slip on here. And what this is just going to simply do, for one, PVC does sink, but the reality is this is going to stay in my kayak hull all the time, and I want this to be rather quiet and not bouncing around inside the hull. So I've got 2 of these slip fits that will fit on here. I got my end cap. I'll spare you the glue setting, but the glue will glue the end cap into place, this into place, using the 2 fasteners that are mentioned. This does not get glued. This piece side gets glued. Let it set up and you're good to go. So you have a Kayak Navigation Light, fairly inexpensively. I think the flashlight's the most expensive piece. This is 97 cents, probably $4 at the most in PVC. So we're looking at something on the order of $15. And you got a great kayak light that can just stay in the hole and ready to go if you get out there and it becomes dark, or you want to go out for a nighttime kayak. It's absolutely beautiful to kayak at night. And this keeps you safe, this and your PFD, and you're pretty much in a situation where you can kayak all night long and be safe. So I hope this helps you out, provides an inexpensive alternative to be legal and safe on the water at night, and you get out there and enjoy it. Thank you.